Good morning, everybody. It's Cindy the Scrapologist. Welcome to another junk journal tutorial. I am still addicted to this digital kit in my shop called The Artist's Wives. It is a book that I came across at an estate sale, either an estate sale or when I was antiquing. I can't remember. And I bought it because I loved the images, and I did scan them and make them into a digital kit. And I wanted to show you the wide variety of things you can make with this kit. I can't stop creating with it. I just love the vintage patina that is on these images that were on the actual book pages themselves. I love their expressions. Every one of them has a name under the bottom, and so I'm just having fun with it and I can't stop. I wanted to show you some of the stuff that I've been making. So this is how the kit prints if you just print it as it comes to you on a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. And but you can print them any size you want. So I did some that were a little smaller, a little larger. You just adjust your print settings. Go to your printer settings and adjust it and tell it you want 4 by 6, 5 by 7, wallet size. Every printer can do that. So adjust it to the size that you want. They don't have to be this particular size to create with them. So some of the things that I've made, I've shown this already. This is my boho carpetbagger journal, I guess you could call it. And so I took this lady and printed her out at, let's see, about 3 by 4 or 3 by 5, and then you can do it at 3 by 5 and then cut out the white space, especially here where the name is if you don't want it. And then I sewed her onto a piece of muslin and put her on the cover of my album. And then I took her name, which the names are very faint, so I retraced this, the Fra Majorin, I don't know how to pronounce that. And I just put it on a piece of cardstock, and that's going in the journal along with a pretty fabric tag that I made. So these are really nice on journal covers. Here's another one that I'm working on, but it needs to be embellished. One of the things that I love doing with this kit is adding little pops of color with my colored pencils. So this one, I wanted to bring out the blue on this antique fabric, and so I just took my colored pencil and just colored in the flowers and colored in her shawl here, and I think that just gives it such a pretty pop. I've always loved that when I've seen wedding photographers who do this, they'll take wedding photos, but then they'll just have the flowers be colored, or something like that, and I love that effect. This one, I just colored the little yellow flowers on her cap because I wanted this primarily to be a vintage patina, an aged look. So putting these on covers is just adds such a beauty to these vintage style journals. This one is going to be let me grab a book here, is going to be a journal cover or journal topper, and I'm going to start putting these in my shop at some point. So they will be in there, but look at how gorgeous that looks on a journal. She's so pretty and whimsical looking. I just wonder what she's thinking. So for this one, what I did was I printed her out. I'll just give you some measurements. I'm not actually going to do a step-by-step tutorial. This is really just to give you some ideas for your junk journals and ideas how you can use the kit. She is 4 by 5. I don't know if I printed it bigger and cut out the white space, but the image you see here is 4 by 5. And then I made a bunch of collages just with sheet music, old book page, coffee stain paper, some stamping, and embossed papers and some wallpaper. And I am in the process of making a bunch of these. And then what I did, this is one of my favorite techniques for journal cards and journal toppers. I just take watercolor paper and then I use my distress ruler to tear out the size that I want so that it fits the image. I ink the edges. And this just by itself makes a beautiful journal card. You don't really have to do much else to this. But with this one I took it a little further. I put some cheesecloth. After I put it, see the watercolor paper right there, and I put it on top of one of these collages with some cheesecloth underneath, and then I've been cutting out some beautiful frames with my silhouette machine and putting those over the top. And so that makes a gorgeous journal topper, or you can just put it in as a tip out or a journal page or a journal card. So that's another idea, is taking them, putting them on collages, but as the base, I really like to have the watercolor paper. So I have a bunch of these that I'm getting ready to make. This one that this one's almost done. So for this one, I took the watercolor paper, used my distress ruler for the edges, inked it up, put this gorgeous lace on top of it, and this lace might be very, very old. I can't remember. And then this here, then I put the image on the watercolor paper with the lace. I rounded the corners, and then I printed a pretty frame on my silhouette machine. I'm going to have frames of different sizes in my shop when I can. My blade busted, so I'm going to have to buy a new blade. As soon as I can do that, I'm going to have a bunch of these frames in my shop for you. So that's another one. I did sew around the edges, but I thought this was going to show up a little better, but it totally fades into this lace, but that's okay. The other side looks really pretty if somebody decides to use the other side. And again, this is a lovely, beautiful, vintage-looking journal topper too, if you want it to be. This one measures, if you're looking to do a standard size journal topper, this one is 5.5 by 8, 8 high by 5.5. And then I'm working on some others. This one I took, again, the watercolor paper, distressed, inked the edges. This is some vintage fabric that I have, and I'm going to put her on here, but I haven't decided what I want to do yet. Her name is Ludmilla, so I might do something like this. I also took one and put it on just a regular piece of craft paper, rounded the corners and inked the edges, and then put it on a piece of craft paper, rounded the corners and inked the edges. And that just looks really pretty, either in a pocket. She would look pretty in a pocket like this sticking out, or you could put her on a page. She's just beautiful, and I will probably color that flower right there. So those are some ideas for the Artist Wives kits. If you have any questions or comments or anything to do with the kit, feel free to convo me below. I'll put the link to the kit below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.